process of this course completion is like this. We'll take one module at a time, and after each module there will be some assessment of 10 marks. You already know all these things. So this is the first module that will begin. It is simply consists of some definitions and basic terms related to project. As I said, various types of projects, scopes, what is project life cycle, what are project constraint. Ideally, we will take 7 classes to complete this module 1, right? Ideally, it's maybe plus minus 1, 2 happens. All right. So let us begin today with the very definition of a project, right? Now, all of you have used this term someday or other in your life. Means project is not a very, uncommon word. We all use the word project. Maybe if you can guess that maybe in your high school times, you might have come across some project, right? Your teacher has given you a project. You made a group of 4 or 5 people, and a project is given to you, isn't it? So the project may be to develop one wind power model, or maybe a project to develop one hydropower station, something like that. Okay. Okay. Somebody is check your mic because I am hearing my own voice. Is it fine? Okay. So I was talking about project. What exactly is a project? Let us discuss it. I hope all of you are online and listening. So I was giving you some examples of project which you have experienced in your school times or maybe in recent time, that you do this project, right? You do this project. Again, for example, that school project. So a project is given to you to develop one model, right, using thermocouples and all those stuffs, to develop a model of a wind power station, right? So if you imagine what are the kind of features or things which are associated with that project, maybe we'll able to exactly define what is a project and what are its features, salient features, right? So in that project, you remember few things I am talking, and I hope you will agree with me. For that project, you definitely can remember a time frame was given, isn't it? Your teacher told you that this is your group of 5 persons. You made this project and submit by this date, right? Submit by this date. You are not giving your whole lifetime to complete it, isn't it? So time is given to you to complete the project. So this is one of the salient features of a project, that it is have a definite start and end time. Means it is having a fixed time duration to complete it. This is one of the features of a project, right? This one feature accepted. Now what is the next one? The next one is that when you develop that project, wind power mill project, some resources are used, right? You shared among yourself, right? Okay, Mr. X, you purchase thermocouples. I will collect the fan. He will collect the wires and things like that. Some resources are used, right? So you spend something on that. So same thing applied to the projects we are going to discuss. It consumes resources. All the projects consumes resources. You cannot call a project as a project if it does not consume resource. So what resource now we are talking about? Now we can classify all the resource into 4 different categories, right? 4 categories, 4 M's, you can say, 4 M's, right? Typically, these are the 4 M's which are referred to in all management subjects. The 4 main M's are man, machine, material, money, right? Man, machine, material, money. So these are the 4 resources typically each and every project consumes, right? Resources. Maybe depending on the project, some project may consume more materials, less manpower. Some project may consume more manpower, less material. For example, a software project, let us say some IT project, right? IT project. So in IT project, the consumption of material is comparatively less than a infrastructure project like a highway or a bridge or a airport. But in case of these IT projects or software projects, the need of manpower is more. The intellectual power consumption of these manpower, which are having intellectual capabilities, the programmers, the coders, are more. The software engineers are more compared to materials. They just need have some computational devices to desktops, laptops. Right? Consumption of material is less. So whatever the case may be, depending on the project type, but definitely it is going to consume some resources. If it is not consuming, then it's not coming under the purview of project. Right? So there's one feature we must understand. What other feature is there in the project? Can anyone remind me? That high school project example, can you tell me any other feature? I told one thing that it is having a definite time duration and it consumes resources. Anything else you can attach with that project? Any other feature you are able to identify? Okay, let me help you. Another feature of project is that it is unique. It is unique. Unique means you are not going to copy, of course. The copy, what I'm referring here is different. You are not going to copy your project exactly from someone else. Maybe, as people say, it is inspired, okay? But there will be some difference. So each and every project is as unique as fingerprints, right? Each and every project. They may look similar, but if you'll compare, you'll find there are some differences. So this is another feature or salient characteristics of a project is that each and every project is unique. This is the third feature, right? Then there is another characteristics of a project. That is, it is not a regular or permanent activity. It is temporary endeavor. Try to understand what I'm saying. Each and every project is a temporary endeavor or temporary effort. It's not a regular effort. Regular means it's not a kind of your regular activity, just like doing a job, right? Suppose someone is doing a job, he cannot claim that I am doing a project. See, every day, as long as he is not resigning, he will come to office and work and will go. It's regular. Similarly, a manufacturing industry is continuously producing something. An automobile industry is continuously assembling vehicles. It is not a project. When it become regular, it become a process, not a project. So what is a project? Project is unique and temporary for some time. For some time. Try to understand this difference. So also your project of that windmill is not a regular work, right? If every day the same windmill project will be given to you, you will not call that as a project. You will call that, oh, this is something every day the teacher gives. So this is part of our course. It's not a project. Every day we have to do this. It's not a project, but it becomes a project if once in a while it is given, right? Once in a while. So that is temporary. So each and every project is a temporary endeavor. It's not a continuous or permanent endeavor. Is that clear? All right. So we are talking about what exactly is a project. So yes, I am showing you a slide. Hope you are able to see it. Project definition. This project definition. Please go through it. A project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. Now let us come to these three terms: product, service, or result. This is interesting part of this project definition. Agreed that you are doing a temporary effort or endeavor, but for what? To create something. Your project created something. For example, that windmill example, you have created a model of a windmill and sold it to the school. That is a product. That is a product, physical product. Suppose a project is there to develop a new airport. That is a product. Suppose to develop a new car model. Product. Finally, you are getting a product. Any physical thing, any tangible thing that you are producing out of the project is a product. It can be a breeze, it can be a building, it can be something like that, which are physical, right? There are other nature of output from a project is there. That is called service. Service. So, you know, the management, if will broadly divided into two sectors. One is taking care of the service sector, management of services. Right. So what are the various services? Can you name a few service? This you can answer. Can you name some service sectors, services? We have 79 students in the class. Please, someone. Can you name some services? Somebody has answered. Chat. Very good. Insurance. Yes. Yes. Insurance is a service. Agreed. Healthcare, education, travel. Right. So there are many services. So when you are starting a new project, so that you will provide a new service, that is a project. That is a project. Suppose you started a new healthcare system, or some started a new company for providing travel helps or insurance helps. So these are all services, right? Education. So the product may not be a physical thing, it can provide a service also. The project can ultimately give some service, right? So that are the examples, as I said. But the last one is result. Result. So project can also give as the final output as a result. Can you guess something? What can be some projects which give some results? Yes, yes. Banking, someone right, is correct as a service. Consultancy, very good example of service. Now I'm talking about some result. Can you answer? What are the results? Okay. Suppose someone is writing that reducing the cost of certain operations is a result. Of course, it may not be the best example, but maybe suppose somebody has started a project in that company that the cost of some operations are very high. So how to reduce it? Practically, I will not accept it because these kind of things may not happen. That you have to develop a project for that. It usually does not happen. That's why it is not that likely that you will have a project to reduce the cost of operation as a project, right? Think something else. Now I will give you the best example of these results. Results are mostly used for the projects which are research oriented, right? For example, in the recent times, we have all experienced how many biological labs and these scientific labs which are working on this COVID vaccine and solution for that, they must have worked this as a kind of project. What is the final output? The output may be some composition, some formula, some vaccine, right? So this is the best example, I'll say, where the project output is just a result, right? Some kind of invention, right? Which is mostly R&D kind of projects. R&D kind of projects finally gives you some kind of result. It's not a physical thing. It's not services. Of course, it can be converted into services later on, but the output of the project is a result, right? Some kind of new invention, some formula, some solution. So that is it. So these are the three potential outputs from a project. You think of any project example, all the outputs must be coming within these three. Either finally it is giving a physical product, right? Or providing some service at the end of the project. Suppose a new railway line has been commissioned, right? New railway line. That is a project. At the end of the project, what is happening? It is providing services, transportation services, right? And result is something where, as I said, you are finding some kind of new invention, right? It may be some formula, it may be some solution, some medicine, things like that. So that is a result. But it is a temporary endeavor. It is not a regular activity. And you have identified that for what purpose you are working in the project, whether it is a result or a service or a product. So once that is done, the project life is over. You cannot go on and on because it has a definite start and end. The project ends there. The project ends there. So if it is fulfilling these conditions, then that is a project. Otherwise, it is not a project. It is regular and it is a process. Right? So a collection of linked activities carried out in an organized manner with a clearly defined start point and end point. As I'm saying, you do not have all the time to complete a project. It has a definite start and end point. That is very essential. To achieve some specific results desired to satisfy the needs of the organization is a project. So what are the typical features or characteristics? A few of them we have already discussed. It is temporary with specific start and end dates. It is unique, right? Each and every project is unique. There is no repetition of that. It consumes resources, right? All the projects consumes resources. As I said, the resources may be material, manpower, money, of course, and machines, equipments. So it needs that. You think of any project example, it will need that, right? It's non-repetitive activity, as I said. It is non-repeated. It is once in a while, right? We are not going to repeat it. If you are repeating, it is not a project. Of course, non-routine also, non-routine, right? Almost same thing, but compared to the time scale, it is non-routine. It comes once in a while, and it is non-repetitive, means you are not repeating those project activities again and again. So these are the characteristics of a project, right? Now, what next for today? Okay, so these are some project characteristics again, maybe some repetitions. It has specific objective, means fixed boundary, right? So okay, it is already 9:45. I think I should not continue with all these points. In the next class, we'll discuss.